still, if you're between Bogachita and Brookhaven, just play it safe, get to that safe spot, and stay there until we sound the all clear, like we can do right now for Franklin County. If you have been in your safe spot in southeastern Franklin County, well, you don't have to be there anymore. The tornado warning has been canceled for your area. The worst of this is to your east now, and you can breathe a little bit easier if you're in southeastern Franklin County. For more on this storm, I'm going to send it back over to Jacob.
Yeah, thanks, Ken. Well, good morning, everybody. Again, we've been showing you the tornado warning now that includes Brookhaven. That's in South Mississippi. We continue to watch a strong line of thunderstorms move across central Mississippi, and that includes the metro. So again, I know a lot of people tuning in from around Jackson right now saying, well, is there a tornado threat here? Right now, there is no tornado warning that includes the metro area. Jackson Metro right now just included in a severe thunderstorm warning for Hinds, Leake, Madison, and Rankin County, and that goes until 8:15. Damaging winds along this line up to 60 miles per hour. Frequent lightning embedded in this as well. So if we let's see if we can take you up to the north. We also have some damaging winds moving through the north part of our viewing area. So as we move up towards Atala County, here's Kosciuszko, a severe thunderstorm warning there until 8:15. But here's the tornado warning that includes most of Lincoln County, Bogachita, Brookhaven, up towards the western area along I-55. And in this, we are still seeing some broad rotation. The good news is, as Ken was pointing out, it doesn't look quite as strong as it was when this tornado warning was first issued. So we'll see how long this extends for. The tornado warning proper continues until 8:45, so for the next 45 minutes. But this storm's moving pretty quickly, so I don't know if it's going to take the next 45 minutes for this storm to get through the county. Still, though, if you are in North Bogachita, you need to seek shelter right now. Brookhaven, this storm will be there within the next 10 to 15 minutes. Carlos by 8:18 and Raffin by 8:22. So this tornado likely going to be crossing I-55 pretty shortly here in central Lincoln County. So certainly you don't want to be traveling in this area. And again, this is the kind of tornado threat that we have for today. It's going to be spin-up tornadoes that are embedded in this line of severe thunderstorms. And so again, on our regular radar mode on Live IMAX 12, it's hard to even see where the rotation would be. We have a little bit of a notch or extension here near the Bogachita area, but we have to use our wind mode, or what we call velocity, and that shows us where the rotation is, where these brighter greens coming up to the north, these darker greens coming to the south. So near Bogachita is where that possible tornado is going to be crossing I-55 right now, and that's where Chief Meteorologist Ken South is keeping an eye on this storm.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to continue to watch this as it moves across parts of Lincoln County. Again, it doesn't look as good as it did a few minutes ago, but the National Weather Service is holding on to that tornado warning because there is still some rotation there. Jacob just pointed it out to you. Right about here, just to the west of the Bogachita area, west of Interstate 55, although the storm is moving at a really good clip off to the northeast at 65 miles per hour. So it's not going to take long for this to move across the interstate. Right now, I'm thinking it's probably going to pass to the south of Brookhaven and continue on towards Highway 84 over just the next few minutes. I think within 5 minutes, it should be crossing the interstate there and continuing on northeast of Bogachita into the eastern part of Lincoln County. So just go ahead and stay in your safe spot if you're in the area that we're talking about right now. The worst of this weather is going to be right along the leading edge of the squall line. That's where we're going to see the heaviest rain, the gusty winds. Even if we're not seeing a tornado reach the ground here, we're still potentially going to see damaging winds coming out of this line of storms, which is just not in Lincoln County, but it really stretches across the area from north to south, from Atala County all the way down to the Macomb area, to the Pike and the Walthall County areas. Along the leading edge of that line, we could see winds at least at 60 miles per hour, which of course can produce damage. Let's go ahead and take a look at Live IMAX 2 full screen, and we will track the storm through Lincoln County for you. Now, right now in this little round area, this is what we call our scope tool. So you're looking at the radar right here, but we just kind of have to look inside the storm, and we can do that by pushing the scope tool over Lincoln County. So what we're looking at inside this round area is the wind speed and the wind direction at cloud level. So we're really looking for the rotation here of the wind. And again, it's not very pronounced, but if there is any rotation right now, I'm thinking it's right about here where those winds coming in pretty strongly from the south, and then on the back side of this, rotating in around from the north. So that's where we have the rotation moving quickly to the northeast at about 65 miles per hour. We'll clear this off and just put it in velocity mode right now, and we'll zoom in, and we're seeing a couple of those red shaded pixels popping in there. So we'll query a couple of those. Not seeing very strong winds, -3 there. What the negative means is that those are outbound winds. The negative is an inbound wind toward the radar site. Let's do that again. So the green shaded pixel there, yeah, -62. So that denotes an inbound wind toward the radar site. The red there would denote an outbound wind from the radar site. So right in about this area right now, crossing the interstate between Bogue Chitto and Brookhaven is where we've got some rotation, definitely some very strong winds associated with this cell as it moves eastward across Lincoln County. Just looking for updates from the National Weather Service and not seeing anything right now. So officially this area is still under that tornado warning for about the next 37 minutes. Right now the time is about 8 minutes after 8 o'clock, and the warning officially goes just for Lincoln County until 8:45. But as Jacob mentioned, that I really don't think this is going to be in the county for that long because it is moving so quickly. We are getting updates as we get scans in from our radar site in Rankin County. We're getting an update here, and we're seeing a little bit more action now. And to me, it looks like that, again, is just on the south side of the city of Brookhaven. Let's query some of these wind speeds once again. And so that red shaded pixel right there, that is a +10. The plus just means that that is an outbound wind away from the radar side. The bright green shaded pixel right next to it, that is an inbound wind. The -31 means winds moving toward the radar side. So again, we've got winds moving in this direction, winds moving in that direction. So there. Okay.
So I just want to show you this. We just come on over to me here on Max 1, another tornado warning north of this. So this is kind of an area that has some kinks in the line, some embedded tornadoes. A new tornado warning now for Copiah and Simpson counties, so north of this. And I guess it's possibly an extension of this, but also some possible rotation between Weston and Hazelhurst. So this tornado warning goes for Copiah and Simpson until 9:15. So this is now including Hazelhurst, Georgetown, and up the Highway 27 corridor. And it looks like, a tornado is now on the ground in Brookhaven. So we're getting reports that a spotter out on the road has visually confirmed this tornado. So this is on the ground now near Brookhaven, and this is crossing I-55, or just has. And so this is where the rotation would be. And I'm trying to see, wonder if on our debris tracker, I can't see anything, but near Brookhaven, we have a reported or confirmed tornado here in Brookhaven heading towards Carlos between New Site and NOLA, and this tornado warning continues for 30 more minutes, and we have a confirmed tornado now on the ground here in Lincoln County, and we have another tornado warning that has been issued for areas up towards the north, so Copiah and Simpson counties. So now what we're dealing with here is 2 tornado warnings, and down in South Mississippi. So here in Lincoln, Copiah, and Simpson counties now under tornado warnings. We have a confirmed tornado on the ground in Brookhaven. And Ken, do you want to take this back and talk about this tornado so I can send these out?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So, all right, Jacob, just wanted to get that out there as soon as possible. I noticed that on chat. He was already on air, so I let him relay that information to you guys, that a spotter has seen something on the ground here near the Brookhaven area. So we can consider this a confirmed tornado in Lincoln County near Brookhaven, and it's continuing to move off to the northeast at about 65 miles per hour. So let's go ahead and take a look at Live IMAX 2 full screen. Once again, where would that tornado be? Well, we're going to back this velocity up just a few minutes, and just a few minutes ago, I was talking about how we were seeing a little bit better indication of rotation here near Brookhaven, and that's exactly when the spotter spotted that tornado on the ground near Brookhaven. So now we're going to go out to current time, and I think this, there's another scan, so it looks a little bit better on this scan. It should be now east of Brookhaven along Highway 184. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more closely so we can see some of the streets that are being affected by the storm right now. And again, we're considering that this is a confirmed tornado on the ground unless we hear otherwise. So it is now east of Brookhaven along East Lincoln Road, north of Highway 84 along NOLA Road Northeast. And if we know that's where this tornado is, we'll circle this area right here. And then I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so we can track this through the rest of Lincoln County. So we're going to take it off to the northeast for the next, let's say, about 12 minutes or so. And these are the areas that pop up in this cone: Union Hall Baptist Church, Macedonia Church, Raffin, NOLA, and Shiloh Baptist Church. That's in the northeastern part of Lincoln County. This is a serious situation. We've got a confirmed tornado by a spotter in Lincoln County moving into the north and eastern part of the county. So we need you to take shelter right now in your safe spot, wherever that might be. If you've got a basement or a storm shelter, that's your best option. If not, small interior room of a sturdy structure staying away from windows is going to give you the best chance to get through the storm if it tracks over your area and is producing debris. Speaking of debris, we have something we call a debris indicator. Sometimes we can tell if there is actually something on the ground by looking at that debris indicator. So I'm going to push this back over, let's see, right in the middle of the screen here, and I'm going to back this up in time just a few minutes to see if we can see anything that's really obvious. And I'm not seeing anything that's really, really obvious here on the debris indicator. Sometimes you would look for maybe a green or a blue shaded pixel right in the middle of everything that would denote that we've actually got something bigger than rain droplets being lofted into the atmosphere, like pieces of trees or buildings or something like that. Not seeing that, so that may be a good sign. But still, serious situation because the spotter has told us that they have seen something on the ground there east of Brookhaven or near Brookhaven, and of course it continues to move off to the northeast. So we'll put this back in radar mode. Can't really see anything except just a big blob of rain on radar mode. So that's why we really have to take a look at this velocity to really pinpoint exactly where the rotating part of this line is. Take a look at the lightning strikes, tons of lightning strikes, but they're really all over the place. So we're not seeing really a cluster of lightning strikes that would really pinpoint the most intense part of the storm. So it all boils down to, once again, where we are getting that rotation is indicated by this velocity scope tool. And right there, you can see that this was just a few minutes ago, but those strong winds coming in from the south and then from the opposite direction there, east of Brookhaven, moving off in this direction. Now, no, Jacob, there's another tornado warning. I don't want to ignore that for too much longer. I know this is a serious situation that we've got going on in Lincoln County, but there is actually another tornado warning a little bit farther up the line to the north. So, Jacob, why don't you tell us about that one?
Yeah, that's right. So we have two tornado warnings now, one in Lincoln. We have one off to the north of that in Copiah and Simpson County. So this is, the tornado was near Wesson moments ago is the likely tornado location. And it's going to be tracking off to the northeast in the general direction of Georgetown. So this is a tornado warning that includes Hazelhurst, Georgetown, much of Copiah, Simpson counties until 9:15 this morning. And we had a second possible tornado here along Highway 51 north of Wesson, tracking off towards the northeast pretty quickly. So as we look on velocity here, there it is what I would say is probably between Wesson and Hazelhurst right now, likely along Highway 51. And this one is moving a tad slower, is what the National Weather Service is telling us, is that it is moving at about 45 miles per hour. So as we track that out using our 45 mile per hour track here, it looks like it's going to be arriving in the Martinsville area right now, Shady Grove in the next 10 minutes. So if you're in Shady Grove, please seek shelter. Hopewell and Hopewell Baptist Church by 8:35. So again, from here from Copiah moving towards western Simpson County is this second possible tornado with lots of lightning on it. And again, the likely tornado would be here between Hazelhurst and Wesson, moving off towards the northeast, towards Georgetown. So as I put a little rotation on this for you and track it out, there is where the rotation would be right here, just off towards the east of Highway 51. They're saying the possible tornado would be near Wesson, moving off towards the northeast. We have a little bit of a notch here on our radar, and that kind of shows us that that's might where be some rotation occurring. And as I put on velocity mode again, we can see we have some greens coming inwards and maybe a little bit of red coming away from the radar. And so we're going to get a little bit of broad rotation here. It doesn't look super tight, and as we compare that to the storm to the south, I don't think I would say it's just strong, but certainly still 2 tornado warnings that we are now keeping an eye on. Now, I don't want to forget our metro folks back up here in central Mississippi. We have 2 tornado warnings now for Lincoln, Copiah, Simpson, Warren counties. So those 3 counties, but the metro area not under a tornado warning. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning, though, that is extended off towards the east. So Leake, Neshoba, Rankin, and Scott now until 9:15, a severe thunderstorm warning for y'all. It looks like in Brandon, this severe thunderstorm with 60-mile-per-hour winds is about to move through Brandon and Pearl and essentially off into eastern Flowood as you head out towards the Dogwood area in northern Rankin County. So a heads up, lots of lightning. It's still pouring in the Jackson metro area, but no tornado threat there as of now. As we put this into motion for you, this storm now pushing across I-55 into Rankin County. So Brandon, you're about to get the heavy rainfall and the gusty winds on the north side of the metro. Canton, Madison over towards the reservoir, still seeing lots of lightning and gusty winds as this pushes on through. And then again, 2 tornado warnings. Again, also wanted to update you. We have an update to the tornado watch that has now been extended into the Pine Belt. So our Pine Belt counties down towards Purvis, Hattiesburg, Laurel, that has now been added to the tornado watch until 4 p.m. Pike and Walthall goes until noon. The rest of us until 9 a.m. I want to point out here, Vicksburg, Port Gibson areas in the Delta have officially been dropped from the tornado watch. As these storms move through, the tornado threat is going to be wrapping up pretty quickly, but still, we're watching 2 tornado warnings now in South Mississippi, and we'll go back over to Chief Meteorologist Ken South for an update on those.
All right, thank you, Jacob. 2 tornado warnings, so I'm going to concentrate on the one a little bit farther to the south in Lincoln County. I'll let you take the other one a little bit farther to the north. Just reviewing our National Weather Service chat, and they are saying that the one in Lincoln County now is radar indicated. So just want to put that out there that it is now a radar indicated rotation in Lincoln County. That warning still goes for about the next 25 minutes until 8:45. We're talking about this one right here. You see this red polygon. These are 2 separate warnings, even though the polygons touch one another. There's one rotation here, and there's another right now moving from Copiah into Simpson County. Let's go ahead and take a look at Live IMAX 2. We're going to take this full screen for you. And again, I'm going to concentrate on the Lincoln County storm right there. There's a close-up of the warning. Here's a look at the rain associated with this and the lightning strikes. But again, if you just look at this, you would not be able to tell where the rotating part of this line is. So we have to take a look at those, at the winds at cloud level, the wind speed and the wind direction. And right now we're looking at that now definitely in the northeastern part of Lincoln County. It is now past Brookhaven. And as we zoom in a little bit more closely, some of these streets here that are near the rotating part of the severe thunderstorm are going to be popping in, like Old Malcolm Road, also Hooks Retreat Road, and the community of Raffin, also NOLA Road Northeast. So if you're in this area, you're definitely experiencing a lot of heavy rain, thunder and lightning, and you're going to see very gusty winds at a very minimum out of this severe thunderstorm, which is capable of producing a tornado. We don't know that there's anything on the ground any longer with this cell, but we have to still take our precautions, get into that safe spot just in case this couplet does tighten up, the rotation does tighten up, and something actually does reach the ground in this part of the county. So just northeastern part of Lincoln County right now, we're going to track this off to the northeast. It is now moving at about 60 miles per hour. It's a little bit of a change. The forward motion is slowed down just a little bit, but it's still only going to take about 4 to 5 minutes to make it through the rest of Lincoln County. So remember, the warning officially goes until 8:45, but I really do think it's going to be out of the county, most likely by the bottom of the hour. So if you're in Lincoln County, you need to be in your safe spot especially in the northeastern part of the county, but just stay there for, I would say, a minimum of the next 10 minutes. And then after that, we may be able to sound the all clear. And we'll let you folks know if you're in Lawrence County, if this is going to be extended into your area. I kind of doubt that that's going to be the case, but we'll get that information hopefully very soon. And once we do, we'll pass it along to you. So as we clear this up, we're looking at a couple of different little spots here where we could see rotation in northeastern Lincoln County. It definitely is now east of Highway 51 and Interstate 55 and north of Highway 84. Some of those stronger wind speeds coming in at about 50, 60 miles per hour along the leading edge of this severe thunderstorm, which again is capable of producing a tornado. And you see these little red pixels popping up here. That denotes wind moving again in the opposite direction. Not very strong winds, but still, when they're moving in opposite directions, we know that there is at least some kind of rotating winds within the storm. So winds moving toward the radar site right here in Rankin County, and then the red indicating winds moving away from the radar site in Rankin County. So right there, now I would say well to the east of Brookhaven, the rotating part of this severe thunderstorm, about 7 miles east of Brookhaven, and continuing to move away from Brookhaven, but toward that Lawrence County line. Now we'll send it over to Jacob for an update on the Simpson County storm.
Yeah, that's right. So again, 2 tornado warnings. Ken's focusing on the bottom one, and here to the north in Copiah and Simpson County, we continue to have this tornado warning until 9:15, and it looks like right now the possible tornado is going to be approaching Highway 28 here in eastern Copiah County. So east of Hazelhurst here along 472-28. If you live in this area, please seek shelter right now. There's likely rotation here that just crossed Monticello Road and pushing between Shady Grove and Ashley. So it's going to be crossing Highway 472 and Highway 28, and then eventually progressing over towards the Hopewell area. So if you live on South Harmony Road, 2827 Old River Road, Hopewell Road, and Hopewell or Georgetown, especially if you live off towards the west or northwest of Georgetown, you need to seek shelter right now. As I kind of put a forecast track on this for you, it's going to be pushing through eastern Copiah County into northwestern Simpson County. Shady Grove at 827, Georgetown at 837 is when this storm arrives. Harrisville at 847, 856 at Piney Woods Country Life School, and 858 at Delo. So this is our second tornado warning that we're continuing to watch here in Copiah County, and this tornado warning goes until 9:15, and the possible tornado is going to be between Hazelhurst and Georgetown along Highway 27 most likely. So again, as I zoom in here and show you where the likely rotation is, as I draw this on the map, it's going to be between Hazelhurst and Georgetown on Highway 28. There would be the rotation right there as it's just crossing to the north of Ashley. And I want to check our debris indicator to make sure that we're not seeing any debris. And I don't think that we are, which is good news for us. So it looks like we're not seeing any debris, but we're still seeing lots of lightning with this storm. Here's our lightning tracker. And just around this rotation here between Hazelhurst and Georgetown, we're seeing a number of lightning strikes just inside this tornado warning. It looks like we have over 200 lightning strikes from Crystal Springs, Hazelhurst back into Georgetown. So this is the tornado warning until 9:15 for Copiah and Simpson counties, and we still are watching areas off towards the south. But again, want to reemphasize here in the metro, no tornado threat. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for Rankin County, Neshoba, Leake, and Scott as that line pushes towards the Brandon area. And we'll monitor, but right now, the tornado threat is well south of the general metro. I guess it's here in Copiah and Simpson, so Hazelhurst, Georgetown, eventually progressing towards Delo. Mendenhall and McGee, though, not included in this tornado warning. Now, let's check back in on the Lincoln County storm with Chief Meteorologist Ken South.
All right, thank you, Jacob. Just want to show you that we've got a new severe thunderstorm warning. Maybe hard to kind of point out here, but you see this yellow polygon right there. It includes Lawrence County, Jefferson Davis County, Simpson County. That's a new severe thunderstorm warning. That's going to be in effect until 9:30. That is moving off to the northeast at about 70 miles per hour. very quickly, and it's capable of producing 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So basically a severe thunderstorm warning taking over as this line from Lincoln County continues to progress off to the east. So I'm thinking that the tornado warning is likely not going to be extended for Lincoln County, since they've already issued a severe thunderstorm warning a little bit downstream to the east of that area. Let's go ahead and take a look at Live Eye Max 2 full screen, and we'll show you what we've got going on here now in Lincoln County more specifically. Remember, there are 2 tornado warnings because of 2 rotations indicated here, and the one that we're looking at in Lincoln County actually started down here right around in mid-county, cut across southeastern Franklin County, and then has moved all the way across Lincoln County, now east of Brookhaven, and we're thinking the rotating parts of that storm is right here over the extreme north and eastern part of Lincoln County. So to make sure that that is the case, we're going to take a look at this with our velocity scope. Now, again, this is an indicator of the wind speed and the wind motion within the storm, and we're still seeing a little bit of a rotation here. You notice that we've got a couple of red pixels right there, but some bright green shaded pixels on the south side of that, indicating that we've got wind moving toward the radar site here, and then we've got wind moving away from the radar site right there, and it's in the extreme northeastern part of Lincoln County. So still the rotating part of this thunderstorm right here. So this is radar indicated rotation. We do not have indication that there's anything on the ground right now with this storm, but we just want to play it safe. In case it does reach the ground, we want you to go ahead and be in that safe spot and stay there until we can tell you that this storm is past your area. And if you're in Brookhaven, I think the worst is off to the east of you now. So you're pretty much in the clear, except that you still are seeing very heavy rain, lots of lightning strikes in that area. But as far as the threat of a tornado is concerned, I think that is now off to the east of you. So let's clear this up just a little bit. I'm going to put this totally within velocity mode, and we'll push this back over to the left portion of the screen here. I'm going to circle the area that's potentially rotating right there, and we'll track it off to the northeast at about 60 miles per hour. Now, again, this is going to take it through parts of Lawrence County, and right now this area is just under a severe thunderstorm warning, but we track this out in the direction that it's moving at that forward speed. Notice that it's going to be tracking across places like Woolworth at about 8:28. That's the current time. Sontag at just a little bit past the bottom of the hour. Oma at about 8:38, and St. James Church at about the same time. So over the next several minutes, this severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is going to be moving from northeast Lincoln County into the northern part of Lawrence County. Again, we've got a severe thunderstorm warning which is taking over in this area, so I'm thinking that the tornado warning probably not going to be continued for this part of the storm, but we definitely still do have a tornado warning a little bit farther to the north for Copiah and Simpson County. And for an update on that, I'm going to send it back over to Jacob.
Yeah, thank you, Ken. So here's the tornado warning now in Copiah and Simpson County near Georgetown. But essentially, it was between Hazelhurst and Georgetown on Highway 28. Now just nearing Georgetown, pushing off towards the northeast pretty quickly. Rexford by 8:45, Braxton 8:49, McLaurin High School at 8:53. You all need to seek shelter, especially if you live along here the Copiah and Simpson County line. It's about to move from Copiah into Simpson, especially northwest Simpson. Mendenhall and McGee not included in this tornado warning, though we are continuing to track this as it moves off towards the northeast. So here's the warning polygon. Now does not include Hazelhurst. It is now fully off towards the east of I-55 near Georgetown is where that rotation is, tracking up. If you live along Highway 469, though, you need to be seeking your shelter right now. So as I kind of pan up here and show us some of the roads where this tornado is going to be tracking, here it is, likely between Hopewell and Georgetown along Old River Road. Seek shelter right now. Harrisville, Touchstone, Braxton, Rexford, you all are next in line as this storm moves quickly to the northeast, so please be seeking shelter. It's moving in this, it's right here north of Georgetown, moving quickly over Harrisville on 469 up towards the Braxton area. So again, our 2 tornado warnings right now are in South Mississippi, or now it's just one because that one has been dropped with a severe thunderstorm warning continuing. Our Shay O'Connor is actually heading south towards these storms on Interstate 55, and I think that she's able to give us us a live report now from Storm Chaser Thunder.
That's right. Good morning to you, Jacob. Hi, everybody. This is Shay O'Connor. I'm reporting from Thunder at this time. And we're actually along I-55 headed south towards Brookhaven. I'm just going to flip it over so that you guys can see the conditions at this time. Now, just seeing lots of thunder and lightning. We were actually just along Ellis Avenue a few minutes ago where I did see some significant rain there and even some flooding underneath the bridge. So drivers in that area definitely want to take heed, definitely drive safely in that area. But as you can see, just lots of rain on the bridge. We're actually headed towards Brookhaven at this time to assess the damage in that area as well. And so as of right now, just heading to Brookhaven, and I will continue to keep you updated on the storm damage throughout the day. So please continue to tune in to 12 News. You can also download our WJTV 12 apps as well as our weather apps as well, just to make sure that you stay up to date. But for now, back to Jacob.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Shay. So again, Shay's heading south here on I-55. The tornado warning is now off towards the east. We're watching it is now moving from Georgetown in Copiah County towards Simpson County. Braxton, please seek shelter. And right now, Rankin County not under a tornado warning, but if this rotation continues, this is kind of where the kink in the line is. It would be moving into southern Rankin County pretty shortly, likely down near the Star area. So we're going to monitor that closely. And Chief Meteorologist Ken South now has a kind of radar recap for the metro area.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got severe weather now moving through pretty much the entire state from north to south along this line. Everything here is severe. Let's go ahead and take a look at our severe thunderstorm warnings and notice that we've got those yellow polygons now from Lincoln, Lawrence counties, and pretty much points north all the way through Leake and Atala County, and including right here in the metro, Madison and Rankin counties as well. Now, earlier today, we had some damage reported, especially in the Delta. I'm going to show you these damage reports. Quite a lot of them in the Delta. Now, this was from really early this morning, even before the sun came up. We had actually tornado warnings in this area, lots of reports of damage, and we do have pictures now of some of that damage in the Greenville area. So if we can, let's go ahead and take a look at some of those pictures. And yeah, we're looking at I believe that is a highway sign right there, some structural damage. Also, I'm being told this is in the Greenville area. This is from Robert Vest, and you notice those buildings being damaged right there. Now, we don't know what caused this damage. It is possible that this was caused by straight line winds, because it's possible that we could have seen straight line winds in this area of 60, 70, even up to 80 miles per hour. But again, there were also tornado warnings in this area as well. So that's why the National Weather Service will, usually the day after a severe weather event, they'll go out and they'll survey these areas to determine what actually produced this damage, whether it was straight line winds from the squall line or it was twisting winds from a tornado. But significant damage really all across the Delta from earlier this morning as that squall line moved through, and now, well, we're looking at the worst of the weather happening right here in central and in south Mississippi. Let's go ahead and take a look at Live IMAX 2 full screen, and we're going to take you a little bit farther to the south so you can see that line right there. And I'll just zoom way on out here. We'll take off the storm reports, and you'll notice that this is a severe line from Kentucky through Tennessee, through northwestern Alabama, right into central and south Mississippi. And we've even got a severe thunderstorm warning as far south as South Louisiana, south of New Orleans. Now, tornado warnings, we just have the one, and that is in Simpson and Copiah County. So this tornado warning will go until 9:15 this morning. Here's the latest information on that. There you go, Saturday, 9:15. That's when the expiration of the tornado warning is. And we'll take a look at the radar. This is where the squall line is moving through, and embedded within this line, there is some rotating winds, which has prompted the tornado warning. So where are those rotating winds? Well, we'll take a look inside the storm at the wind speed and the wind direction with this velocity scope tool. And as we scan the line, you can see right in there what grabs your attention is right in the middle there where we have the bright green shaded pixels and then the red shaded pixels. And Jacob has been tracking this earlier this morning from Copiah County, now transitioning across the Pearl River near the Georgetown area into Simpson County. And I believe the storm, what's the forward motion? That's 60?
Yeah, about 60
miles per hour. So
55.
it's going to be moving through Simpson County fairly quickly. So if you live, let's say, west of Mendenhall in Simpson County and north of Highway 28, you need to be in your safe spot right now. And even though you're not under a tornado warning in Rankin County, in the southern part of Rankin County, especially right around places like Puckett and Johns, you need to be thinking about what you would do and where you would go if this tornado warning is extended farther downstream to the northeast into your area in the metro and the southeastern part of Rankin County. Again, you don't need to be under a tornado warning to be thinking about where to go, because one could be coming down the line with this storm. So let's go ahead and take a look at the velocity, and we're going to zoom in to this area. And since this is the only tornado warning that we have right now, Jacob and I are going to tag team on this storm alone, because right now I'm thinking that we got a clear indication that we've got rotation here north of Georgetown, now moving into Simpson County. So hopefully we're going to get an update very soon on this tornado warning, and they'll shave Copiah County out of the warned area so we can sound the all clear for folks farther to the west in Copiah County. But really now I think this is going to be a Simpson County storm. And if it's moving to the northeast at about 60 miles per hour and the rotating part of this line is right here, well, you can easily see that it's going to be crossing Highway 49 probably within the next 15 minutes or so, and could be near the community of Braxton, which is in extreme northern Simpson County. And eventually that's going to take it into Rankin County as well. So within this cone that I just drew, we're looking at the communities of Harrisville, also Touchstone, Braxton, and Delo, all within this cone. So if you are in those communities or near those communities that I just mentioned, you need to be in your safe spot, headed to that area right now, and staying there until we tell you that the storm has either weakened or it has passed your area. So rotating part of the storm clearly is right here, and I think this is a pretty rural part of the county, but we're going to zoom on in, and as we do, some of those streets that are being affected by the storm right now are beginning to pop in here, and we're looking at places like Buckley Road. This is Taisha Drive, Country Club Road, and Scarborough Road. That's where this radar indicated tornado is right now, and it's soon going to be moving across Highway 469. It's very close to that area right now. It's going to be crossing near Harrisville, crossing Highway 469 in about 3 minutes time. So if you live near Harrisville, near Highway 469, or northeast of there, this storm is headed in your direction. Now, Director, are you trying to tell me something? All right, I'm not getting any words, so I'm going to send it back over to Jacob for more on the storm.
Okay, yeah, so again, we're tracking one tornado warning now that is essentially for Simpson County, not including McGee or Mendenhall, though, but it's along a line of strong and severe thunderstorms. We have severe thunderstorm warnings stretching from Macomb all the way up to Kosciuszko as this line continues to push off towards the east. Significant damaging winds are going to be possible. We've had multiple reports of trees down across central Mississippi, but again, now a tornado warning continuing for Simpson County until 9:15, so 30 more minutes. We're going to be tracking this storm for you. It has now crossed this county line, and Copiah County has been dropped out of this. But as we zoom in to here, there's the rotation just north of Georgetown, Harrisville. You need to be in your safe place right now, because that tornado is about to reach the Harrisville area and cross Highway 469. And then again, as Chief Meteorologist Ken South was mentioning, Rankin County is not too far away. We're going to be seeing if they extend this, because this rotation has been tightening. And so Piney Woods, by 8:51, it would be in your area. area. So even though there's no tornado warning for extreme South Rankin County, Piney Woods Star, if you're south of Florence on Highway 49, I would suggest go ahead and going to your safe place, your tornado shelter, because a tornado circulation is less than 10 minutes away from reaching Highway 49 in Rankin County. So extreme northwestern Simpson County, extreme southern Rankin County, please seek shelter now as this tornado warning continues. Again, these storms are moving very quickly today, so there's not too much time to take action. So as soon as we are telling you about these warnings, if your town is popping up in the path, you need to be going to that safe place pretty quickly. So as we zoom in here on the likely rotation, here it is in between Braxton and Georgetown, right near the Harrisville and Touchstone areas. And so I'm going to put a little monitor on here so we know where that is. And it's near Highway 469. And zooming in to show you some of those streets, it's going to be arriving here, Star Braxton Road, Harrisville Braxton Road, Touchdown area right there off 469 near Harrisville. And then eventually likely going to pass just between Rexford and Braxton here, and then Piney Woods is really the next big area that would be in this path. So near Harrisville right now, this is where we're seeing the rotation. These reds on our wind mode coming away from the radar in Brandon, these greens coming towards, and that's how we get this rotation. And this is the kind of rotation that we've been seeing with embedded supercell or embedded tornadoes in this line of thunderstorms. And I want to point out, this is not going to be like the tornadoes we saw last month. These are not going to be visible. These are embedded in the line. There's lots of rainfall, and so you are certainly not going to be able to see these at all. So there's no point. It is unsafe to head outside and make sure, or attempt even, to see that. So in addition to that one tornado warning, we continue to be under a tornado watch for the metro area down to Macomb, back into the Pine Belt, the metro area until 9 a.m., and then for the Pine Belt, that extends until 4 p.m., and so that tornado watch continues because this environment we've seen spin-up tornadoes likely now for the past 2 hours. That'll continue over the next couple of hours. We'll send it back over now to Chief Meteorologist Ken South, who's tracking that tornado warning.
All right, thank you, Jacob, for that information. We're already zoomed into this area, so just to get your perspective, right here, we are basically south of the city of Jackson, south of Brandon. We've got Rankin County up here. We've got Jackson right here, and then this is Copiah County. This is Simpson County. So the latest information we have is the updated tornado warning cuts Copiah County out of the warning. So you're in the clear if you live in Copiah County. It's just now within Simpson County, this red polygon here, but I got to tell you that this rotation does look pretty good. It's moving quickly, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if the National Weather Service decided that they were going to extend this farther to the northeast into Rankin County. So we're looking at potentially places like Piney Woods and Johns and Puckett, maybe even as far north as Pelahatchie, being in the path of the storm over the next 30 minutes to an hour or so. So you do have some time to prepare or to get to where you need to be before the storm reaches your area. And of course, that place you need to be is your safe spot. We need you to get to that underground area if you've got access to that. If you don't, small interior room of a sturdy structure staying away from windows. Here's a look at Live IMAX 2 full screen. We're going to examine the wind speed and the wind direction within this blob of rain that you're seeing here. You really couldn't tell where a tornado is. Sometimes we look for bowing parts of the line, or we look for little notches within the line to tell exactly where we could have rotating winds within a line, a squall line like this, but it's really ragged and we're not seeing anything that really jumps out at us. So what we have to do is we have to look inside the storm, kind of examine it, and there you go, right there. That's where we're seeing along Highway 469 near Harrisville, where you see the green and the red shaded pixels right next to one another. That's where we have the rotating winds. And it looks to me like that this tornado warning was just updated because you saw the polygon change. It's a very small area that's now being warned for. So I'm going to read this off for you at 9:15, at 8:44. So that was about a minute and a half ago. At 8:44, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Harrisville, or 7 miles to the south of Star, which of course is in Rankin County, moving now to the northeast at 45 miles per hour. So what they've done here is they've trimmed it down the polygon a little bit, so it's a small area that's being warned for, and they've also updated the forward motion of the storm. So it's slowed down just a little bit. I'm going to plug in 45 miles per hour into Live Eye Max 12, so we'll track this out. So first of all, we need to identify, again, exactly where the rotating part of the storm is. So let's go ahead and take a look at the scope tool, and we'll check out within the radar here where the rotating part is. I'm thinking it's right in about this area, right along Highway 469. Let's just turn this off into velocity mode right there, and thinking that the rotating part is going to be right in here. Yeah, right there, now north of Highway 469. Remember, the polygon is right there. It's that red shaded area. So this is the tornado warned area. Braxton is included. Now we're going to track this off to the north and to the east at about 45 miles per hour. So at that forward motion, it's going to be near Braxton in about 7 minutes time. It's going to cover about the next 6 miles to get there. So not a whole lot of time, but you do have at least a couple minutes if you live along Highway 49 in the Braxton area to take shelter from the storm as it approaches your area. So let's back this up in time just a little bit so we can kind of trace where the rotating part of the severe thunderstorm is. And we keep saying that because this is a radar indicated rotation. We don't have confirmation that there's anything on the ground with this storm. It's just indicated by radar. But if we back this up in time, you can clearly see just a few minutes ago at about 8:36 where the rotation was, and then we'll track this back out in time. There you see the rotation right there at about 8:39. We'll keep going. There you see it crossing Highway 469 at about 8:43, and now we're at the current time, so I'm thinking it's going to be right in about this area. So you can see the past path of the storm, so that gives us a pretty good indication of where it's going to go in the future, which is off to the northeast toward Braxton and Highway 49. We'll zoom into the current rotating part right there, and as we do, some of those streets are going to be popping in there. The community of Harrisville, Touchstone. Actually, I think it's going to be a little bit closer to Touchstone now, and quickly moving toward the Braxton area right along Harrisville, Braxton Road, around Star Braxton Road, Neely Road, and then eventually crossing Highway 49. Should be a little bit closer to that area right now, and it is. It's only about 4 miles away, and at the current speed at 45 miles per hour, it should take it about 5 minutes to cross over into that area. Current time is about 8:49. Now, this warning officially goes until 9:15, but I honestly think that it's probably only going to be in Simpson County for about the next 5 to maybe 10 minutes before it makes its way into extreme southeastern parts of Rankin County. Jacob, I'll send it back over to you.
Ken, with this tornado warning, we are now getting word we're waiting on a likely extension of this tornado warning into Rankin County. Again, we were kind of giving you an early heads up here from Storm Team 12. We were telling you, South Rankin County, you need to be in your safe place right now, despite there not being a tornado warning yet. Pineywood, Star, Cato, here extreme south near the border, near the county line along Highway 49. Seek shelter right now because this tornado warning has just now been extended, and so we have that new tornado warning. So if Ken, you want to timeline that out, and I can send that out for us. It looks like it's including 3 counties.
All right, so let's go back over to me. So this, of course, is the current tornado warning, and we've been talking about how it was probably going to be extended if this rotation held together. That's exactly what's happened. So the new tornado warning is not only for Rankin County, but it looks like it's now for parts of Smith County and Scott County, and the expiration on this is 9:45. Current time is 8:50. 9:45. That's about 55 minutes from right now. So I'm just going to read off the information that we're getting with this warning. At 8:49, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located near Piney Woods or near Star, moving to the northeast at about 45 miles per hour. So the current motion has not changed, still moving northeastward at 45, but it is transitioning now from Simpson into Rankin County. So let's go ahead and take a look at Live Eye Max 2 full screen, and we'll clear this up just a little bit, and I'm going to take off some of the severe thunderstorm warnings. We just want to look at the tornado warnings. And now, officially, there are 2 tornado warnings, but it's really just for the same storm. And this is just a continuation of the one farther to the south in Simpson, moving up towards Rankin, Smith, and Scott County. So this one is, let's query this. This one goes until 9:45 this morning. And the rotating part of this severe thunderstorm is going to be right there, pretty much right on Highway 49 right now. Let's see if we can zoom in and find out where Star is. So there's Star, and here's Piney Woods. So I really believe the rotating part of this is probably between Braxton and Piney Woods right now, right along Highway 49 and Neely Road, moving northeastward at about 45 miles per hour. So we're going to put this bottom left portion of the screen, and we're going to track this out through at least Rankin County over the next several minutes. Let's take it to the edge of Smith and Rankin counties over the next 25 minutes. And Johns, I've been mentioning the community of Johns, and that does pop up in the cone that I just drew. Pretty much, if it continues on its current path, it may pass to the north of Puckett, but it's definitely going to be crossing Highway 18 and eventually Highway 43 as it makes its way across southeastern Rankin County and towards Smith County. There you see Cato in the path of the storm in about 8 to 9 minutes at the top of the hour. Johns at about 9:05. Mayton at about 11 minutes after 9, and Daniel at about 9:13. So we can now tell you that you absolutely do need to be in your safe spot if you live in southeast Rankin County and even farther downstream. Of course, you do have a lot of lead time with the storm now. If you live in Polkville in Smith County or Morton or Forest in Scott County and Pelahatchie. I mentioned Pelahatchie before. Pelahatchie is in the tornado warned area. So if you live in Pelahatchie, if you live in Puckett, in between those areas, I think that's where this tornado is going to be moving toward, and it could be pretty close to Polkville eventually. You should be hearing tornado sirens in your area if you live in any of these communities because you're officially under that tornado warning. So the tornado, radar indicated tornado, it's a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado, is now crossing Highway 49 between Braxton and Piney Woods, and it's going to be moving pretty close to the Cato area. I'm going to zoom in, and as we do, you see some of those towns that pop up between Piney Woods and Cato. So over the next couple of minutes, that's where this is going to be moving across. We're looking at Clara Foot Road, also St. John Road, Charlie Dixon Road, Connerly Road, Caton Road, and again, St. John Road and Clack Road, all in the southern part of Rankin County. That's where the worst of the weather is going to be moving across over the next few minutes as we approach the top of the hour at 9 o'clock. And then eventually it's going to be getting close to and crossing Highway 18 near the community of Johns in about 13 minutes. So you've got some time. Get into your safe spot. Stay there until we sound the all clear. Jacob, over to you.
Okay, thanks, Ken. As we look here, a wider view now for central Mississippi. Again, we have 2 tornado warnings for one storm, really, that's moving from now Simpson into Rankin, Scott, and Smith counties. Down to the south, we're dealing with severe thunderstorms now moving into Jefferson Davis County, and up towards the north from Madison into Lee County, a severe thunderstorm warning. And so that's going to be damaging winds, the main threat with that. Lots of lightning, though, here on Live IMAX 12 as this storm pushes off towards the east. Notice here, if we have a little bit of a notch here is near the Puckett area, South Rankin County. That's this tornado that's possible in South Rankin County, and we see the notch come out of the south, moving up quickly, and so it's going to be moving towards the Morton area, Polkville, Puckett. This tornado warning again continues for Rankin, Scott, and Smith until 9:45. Brandon, Pearl, North Rankin County, Flowood not included in this warning. This is mostly south of I-20 here, down towards the Star area. So as I put a track on this for you, here it is. Let's kind of update this track because that is certainly out of date. As we put a track on this near Braxton right now, crossing the county line, tracking this off towards the north, Cato by 902, Johns, Rufus, East Rankin Academy, and then eventually down the line into Pelahatchie. So what I want to do here is I want to zoom in on Live IMAX 12 and show some of the roads here because this is going to be right near Piney Woods. Here's the rotation. It is just crossed over Harrisville-Braxton Road, now crossing Highway 49, and will be moving past Piney Woods. So Piney Woods, you're in your safe place right now. Cato needs to be as well as in Johns. But Rock Hill Road, Wade Patrick Road, Cato Road, County Line Road in South Rankin County, County Line Road. 18 here where Johns is, essentially between Puckett, Johns, and then pushing up towards Sherwood Forest here along Highway 18. If you live along Highway 18, you need to be in your safe place right now because we have rotation that is about to move from the Piney Woods area, the county border here between Simpson and Rankin, moving towards Cato and eventually towards Highway 18. Puckett, you were included in this warning where you should still be in your safe place. I think the storm is going to be moving just to the north of you, but if there's still probably some Puckett addresses here where near the Johns area, Mayton along Highway 18, that's where you need to be in your safe place right now. So let's kind of put on our radar here and show you lots of lightning strikes with this storm. And as I was mentioning, we kind of have a little bit of a notch here along the county line between Simpson and Rankin and moving towards the Puckett area, going to pass just towards the north of that along Highway 18. And that's where this tornado warning continues. I want to check for debris, and I don't think, no, that's probably an artifact. So I don't think that we're seeing any debris, which is good news for us, but we're continuing to see this storm move off pretty quickly into southeast Rankin County. So southeast Rankin County under this tornado warning until 9:45, continuing towards Scott and Smith County. And again, this does warning down the line within the next 30 minutes or so. We'll be including Morton, Polkville, and areas along I-20 between Pelahatchie and Forest. So go ahead and go to your safe spot. Never too early. These storms are moving very quickly today. This one is up to 60 miles per hour with a possible tornado now moving through southeastern Rankin County. So now for a recap of the central Mississippi area and what warnings we have right now, I'll send it back over to Chief Meteorologist Ken South.
All right, thank you, Jacob. We're just getting information that the tornado watch that was set to expire at 9 a.m. has been extended for a couple of hours until 11 a.m. this morning. And then some of our far southeast counties will actually be in this watch until later this afternoon. But the watch extended for at least a few more hours because, well, it was set to expire at 9 o'clock, which is 2 minutes from right now. Obviously, there's a tornado warning still in this area, so they extended it at least a couple of hours. I think the threat, though, is likely going to be ending from west to east for a lot of these counties fairly soon, within the next hour or two. And you'll see some of these counties begin to be taken out of the watch that's on the western extent of this. Now, we see the yellow polygons